You are tapped in with Caden. Listen, Martin Bakole is rumored to be fighting F.A. Ajapa in Africa. Now, we have to wait for the official announcement, but word got to Martin Bakole that Anthony Joshua picked his fellow Nigerian, F.A. Ajapa, to defeat him, Martin Bakole. And Martin Bakole had a stern message for Anthony Joshua, which was actually a challenge in which Martin Bakole predicts he would knock Anthony Joshua out in one round. We're going to take a look at what Martin Bakole posted on X, also known as Twitter. And you see Martin Bakole put like the mean face for you at Anthony Joshua with the fist emoji and the flag for the Congo. Let's listen to what Martin Bakole said in his call out video for Anthony Joshua.
Hey, Anthony Joshua, this video is for you. I call out. I wanted to knock you out. And now you're talking shit to say Ajagba. Ajagba is going to beat me. Shame on you. How many times did I call you out? How many times did I ask you to fight in Africa? You don't even feel shame of yourself. I want to fight you. I want to knock you out. Look at Daniel Dubois, broke his nose twice. He knocked you out cold. What happened to me? I'll knock you out in the first round. You're talking about Ajagba. Ajagba is a baby. Wait till you see how I'm going to knock him out. I'll invite you to be there. You're talking shit. I want to fight you. Stop talking nonsense. Now you say you're Nigeria. You're not British anymore. I'll knock you out. I'm African giant. I'm African warrior. I'll knock you out, you. After knocking Ajagba out, I'll knock you out as well. Hey, Anthony.
So there was some digs there that I find hilarious. I'll address some of them. First, when he said, Anthony Joshua, you're not British now. You're saying you're not British now. You're Nigerian. Was funny. Took a little dig at him because Anthony Joshua has been in Nigeria with some of his relatives, and he's been posting his journey in Nigeria all over social media. And so Martin Bakole saying, oh, now that, you're in Nigeria, you're saying that you pick F.A. Ajapa to beat me. Now, let me get to F.A. Ajapa real quick. I don't see no way he can beat Martin Bakole. And again, I'm not always right, but I'm not always wrong. So you can check the history on that. But the point is, F.A. Ajapa, he's learning on the job. And although he's always improving every time he comes out, I just don't think he's improved enough to be able to defeat someone like Martin Bakole. The word that was going around is F.A. Ajapa was a sparring partner for Jared Big Baby Anderson, and Jared Big Baby Anderson used to give him that work. And you saw what happened to Jared Big Baby Anderson when he stepped in the ring with Martin Bakole. Again, triangle theories don't work. Sparring isn't always a good indicator of who can win a fight, and F.A. Ajapa has a puncher's chance. But my point is, technique-wise, boxing IQ-wise, I don't think that F.A. Ajapa has enough experience and he understands the game enough to beat someone like Martin Bakole. And that's why Martin Bakole said F.A. Ajapa is a baby. He's not saying F.A. Ajapa is a baby in terms of age, in terms of strength, in terms of ability. He's saying he's a baby in terms of his boxing experience, and he doesn't have that experience that I just stated to beat him. That's why he called F.A. Ajapa a baby. Now, he said he broke Daniel Dubois' nose twice, and you got knocked out by Daniel Dubois. Look, again, what happens in sparring stays in sparring, and sparring isn't always an indication of what will happen in the real fight. But when you give someone a good beating and you give someone a good hiding, some people may take that as bragging rights or having a one-up on someone. I would just state this. When Philip Hergovich beat Daniel Dubois in the sparring session that he was bragging about, they were saying that Daniel Dubois was 17. And sometimes you have these young up-and-comers, these good prospects who step in the ring with pros at a younger age so that they can get experience, and they may get battered. Again, we don't know all the details that went into the sparring session with Daniel Dubois, so we can't really say how that would factor in between a fight with Daniel Dubois and Martin Bakole. However, they say Daniel Dubois gave AJ trouble and gave AJ a beating in sparring. Daniel Dubois really didn't want to get into it, but when they fought, Daniel Dubois gave him a beating in the actual fight. So sometimes sparring, the way it happened in the gym, is the way it plays out in the ring. And we've seen it happen the other way. For example, in the amateurs, Dillian White beat Anthony Joshua. And then when they fought in the ring, Anthony Joshua, after gaining more experience, beat Dillian White. So again, this is the point. Sparring doesn't really tell you much. It has to happen under the big lights. Now let's get to AJ. AJ picking F.A. Ajapa. Was it a genuine pick, or was it just him picking his fellow Nigerian? Either way, it doesn't really matter. Martin Bakole's calling out Anthony Joshua, said, I've been wanting to fight you in Africa. Said, why don't you pull up to the fight? I think it would be dope if Anthony Joshua pulled up to the fight. And this is a primary example of why I disagree with Simon Jordan and some of these other people who are saying a fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury won't matter because it won't have the same relevance and it won't be the best fight and the best, and there will be no titles on the line. We're people at the end of the day. We want to see good matchups and good fights that entertain us. And sometimes when there's a personal beef, that adds to the drama. Jake Paul just put on one of the biggest events of the year. That fight meant absolutely nothing. What did Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson mean in the grand scheme of things? Absolutely nothing. It was just two people we cared about. Two people we wanted to see have a dust up. Mike Tyson because he's a legend, and Jake Paul because he's been beating legends, and we wanted to see if Mike Tyson could knock out Jake Paul. That's why we cared. See, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, people care about them. People want to see them fight, and that's why they'll generate money. A fight between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua may generate more money than Usyk's next fight. Why? Because people care about them. People are invested in them. You want to see the outcomes. Settling personal beefs sometimes is better than, say, the tactically skilled, better fighters facing each other. Sometimes you just want to see that personal war. You think of Arturo Gatti and Ward, Gotti Ward. Why can't I get Ward's first name right now? It's Mickey Ward. Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward, right? They had a trilogy. Wasn't the best fighters in the world. It wasn't the best pound for pound fighters in the world. It's just people wanted to see them because you knew you were going to get a good fight. You knew you were going to get a high quality fight. And that's what it's about. You want to see entertainment at the end of the day. That's why Chisora continues to sell out the O2 Arena, and he's calling it the last dance against Otto Wallin, although word has it there's another fight. He's going to have another fight after that if he wins. So maybe that's baked in there just in case he loses. But anyway, getting back to this, Martin Bakole versus Anthony Joshua would be a banger. It would be a big fight, and it would be a risky fight for Anthony Joshua because he did get knocked out by Daniel Dubois. And if he gets knocked out again by Martin Bakole, that may be the end for Anthony Joshua. But if he could win that fight, that would put him right back in the thick of things because Martin Bakole is in waiting for a title shot. People swerved him for the title eliminator. So Martin Bakole is right there in line, and he's fighting F.A. Ajapa in this title eliminator, the IBF title eliminator, I believe. So again, Anthony Joshua has a great fight that he could potentially have lined up. I believe Martin Bakole when he's saying, I want to knock you out and I do it in one round. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that Anthony Joshua should give Martin Bakole a shot, or do you think he should stay far away from Martin Bakole? I'm going to be honest. If he can make the fight with Tyson Fury, that should be number one on his priority list. But if that doesn't happen, are there other fights I think he should take other than Martin Bakole? The question is his goal really to be 3-time heavyweight champion of the world? Because if it is, then he can fight Martin Bakole. Although something tells me he could avoid fighting Martin Bakole and still get a shot at a rematch with Daniel Dubois if Daniel Dubois gets past Joseph Parker, assuming Daniel Dubois doesn't get the Usyk fight, in which case then he may have to go to Martin Bakole route to get another shot at the IBF. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe. Also, if you want to hear the content, but you can't watch the videos, say you're at work or you're doing something else, you can check out the content on Cadence Kerfuffle on any major streaming service. Thank you for watching this video. Appreciate the support. It's Caden. I'm out. Peace.